Good made it famous, Bob the Sports evolved on it, and Grant Horvat may now be taking a swing at it himself. Today we're talking about YouTube golf groups and some news surrounding Grant, conversations he's had on a podcast where he discusses his plans to start his own YouTube golf group. It's nuts. Be sure, guys, hit that subscribe button if you appreciate this content. We got a lot to dive into. Really quick, let's just break down what's been happening in YouTube golf. Obviously, in the last few years, you've seen the emergence of these YouTube golf groups, and I get asked all of the time, Nate, do you think YouTube golf is oversaturated? Nate, I want to start a channel. Do you think it's oversaturated? Do you think there's any chance I succeed? My answer is always 100% yes, there is a chance. 100% yes, there is space, and 100% no, YouTube golf is not oversaturated, which sounds crazy because there are so many creators, but there's also millions and millions and millions and millions of viewers. There's so many people wanting to consume this golf content, and that number is only growing. The opportunity on YouTube, no matter how many people are creating content, is always there because there's always space for originality. But that's the big thing. And that's the thing I think a lot of people don't understand when it comes to starting a YouTube channel is like most of the time, if you want to start a YouTube golf channel and you're just like average, right? You're just whoever, like you're not getting the boost of like good, say like a Brad Dahlke or a Ben Haddon or something like that, where like you're attached to a name, or Grant and Micah when they kind of first started their channels, attached to GM Golf, attached to good, like that. You could kind of be anyone and then have a bump like that and it will like get you views to start, but like eliminate that from the possibilities because that's very rare. That's very rare case you have that kind of publicity when you first start a channel. Most people, when you first start channels, I'm using them as examples because those are the recent channels we've seen boom kind of from nothing. When you start a channel, you likely will get 0 views on your first video. You'll likely get 1 view on your second video and 1 view on your third video, etc., etc., etc. It's a slow grind. And how you break through that just like plateau of nothingness is by doing something original. If you come onto this platform and you try to do what anyone is already doing, you just walk out and you start playing golf and filming yourself, it's unlikely that you're gonna break through. If you're just trying to break 72 videos like Rick Shields, it's unlikely you're gonna do a job good enough that breaks through and draws people's attention because you have to do something unique and different, something that isn't already being done before. So how then are YouTube groups able to be successful when you already have one that's massive in good? Well, Bob the Sports is a great example. It's a group that's come into the space and done something completely original, completely unique to them and their value prop. And what I find interesting about it now is you now have a lot of subsidiary like startup channels trying to copy them, trying to do the same thing, trying to be higher handicap comedy type golfers. And that's fine, and I'm sure 1 or 2 of them will have their own unique spin on it, but you definitely see the difference. If you watch Bob the Sports versus Good, you see a drastic difference in the style of content, right? They're both playing golf, but one is way more comedy focused, way more relatable golf, whereas the other one is like, it is comedic, but it's high level golf. There's challenge, there's real competition, there's pro golfers in it. Like, it's very different. The value props are very different. So that brings us to where we are today, which is space for another YouTube group. And I think there absolutely is. And I think one thing that has proven that is the recent collaborations between Grant, Micah, Busted Jack, and Brian. I think there is an immense opportunity with these guys. Every time they get together, their YouTube masters have done millions of views collaboratively, and they've only released 2. The third one's going to be coming out on Brian Bro's channel shortly. It was filmed while they were down in Bermuda. Well, George got his hole-in-one, and all of that craziness happened. There's actually been a lot of good content from there. Micah's video that we talked about the other day, I thoroughly enjoyed that. The knockout video and seeing those guys together, like, it just really proves why YouTube group-based content and collaborative-based content works. It's like, it's one thing if just Grant and Micah and even just like Busted Jack were to do a knockout, but then you add in Brian Bros and you all of a sudden, even the 4 people I just mentioned, their personalities now bounce off 2 more people who are very different and have different takes and you have like highs and lows and comedy and jokes, and it really melds well together. So seeing these guys, it gives you a lot of hope. If I was to personally, and we're going to get to Grant's idea in a second, but if I was to personally think of what would be really successful right now as a YouTube group, it would be if those exact characters were to form a group. Like if those exact characters were to form a YouTube golf group right now, I think they would be unstoppable. If they came together, this would never happen, but if they came together in a collaborative channel, like a good, but just for them, call it whatever you want. Those guys right now having all the pull they have, it would be like a superpower group that I think 100% would rival Good in terms of views and everything. And that's a crazy thing to say, right? Because obviously Good is the biggest of the big, the biggest needle mover, the most influential group in the space right now. But I could definitely see space for these alternative creators who come together and pull massive amount of views. If they were to create something long term, it could work really well. So that's just my personal thing. I think if a new group out of nowhere wanted to come in, you would just have to find something different. You'd have to find some value prop different than what Bob Does Sports and Good are currently offering. But all right, let's get into Grant and his talk about a new group. That's the history lesson for all you guys. I try to give context in these videos so you can understand a bit more about what's going on, because not a lot of you spend as much time on YouTube as I do. Anyways, let's talk about this. Grant went on Foreplay. There were lots of really interesting nuggets in that podcast. He talked about a lot of different things. The one that stood out to me the most was him discussing not only does he have plans to grow the behind the scenes team, but he actually wants to bring on talent to his channel. Let's watch the clip together and then we'll react.
But your team is very small. You said it was like 2 or 3 people.
Just 2 of us. And I got 2 managers. Just me and Skylar.
No way.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
The guy who we saw today is your only guy.
Only guy. He videos and edits everything. So shout out to Sky.
I really like that guy.
Unbelievable what he's doing. And I like to keep it that way. I don't want too many. I mean, I think eventually I want to build a team. I want to expand because I want to have people working on one channel, like we are teaching channel. I want to be able to like divert the work.
Sure.
But I really do think it's good to just have me and Sky and working hard, and we're definitely looking for people.
Would you ever expand the content team? Like add people are you ever going to create a brand, or is always just going to, is your name the brand going forward, do you think?
I've definitely thought about bringing in some characters.
Yeah.
I have some. I definitely have some on the radar.
Right.
Not right now. I think right now I love collabing, and then also, like I said, I have my solo videos, which I love to film, and like I'm gonna go do one at TPC Sawgrass coming up, where I try and make the cut at the players. It's like a whole hypothetical thing. Like I start, on the cut line, see if I can hang around.
Yeah, I love it.
So like I like the solo videos there, and then I like to collab, and I think that's a good balance.
Definitely.
But having like different characters is very powerful. Having multiple people, I just think it's an interesting thing because I was a part with a lot of characters, and I know how it is. Everyone's got different, outlooks on how things should be, and I think you're very powerful in number, but there are also a lot of different opinions. So,
oh baby, listen. All right, Grant number 1 right now is the tidal wave in YouTube golf. He is every collaboration I see dropping on YouTube golf right now is Grant Horvath. He's on podcasts, he's on multiple podcasts, he's on channels, he's on multiple channels. He has this video, everything is Grant Horvath. This guy is the hottest thing in YouTube golf right now. So now you're telling me that this guy is thinking about adding talent to his team, to bringing in people in this YouTube golf group style format. I mean, it's just wild because I think there's a couple different points here. Number 1, he has the experience. Like this guy has been a part of one. And so he's been able to see the things he likes and the things he doesn't like. And he talks about that at the end. He's like, it's great. You're strong in numbers. The content definitely, I think, is more interesting naturally by having multiple personalities. But you also see all the struggles. So there's obviously things that he's taken from that. They're not necessarily negative things against Good, but they're just things that he sees that he could evolve on. And that brings us back to the beginning of the video when I talk about the fact that if you want to succeed on YouTube, you have to do something original. So this gets me excited because it makes me think that Grant has ideas to bring people in to offer a value prop that would inherently be different than what Good is doing. I'm sure it would involve good golf, but I'm sure it would also involve a bunch of things that they're not doing that he always thought. As he also mentions in that clip, that with multiple people, you have multiple ideas about how things should go. I would bet Grant had a lot of ideas for Good that naturally, just like all the guys, they have lots of ideas. They're not all going to get used because there's multiple people. You all have to agree on it. There's lots of things going on. But if he then becomes the master of this channel, he can take all the things that he thought were missing and that he wanted to improve on and do different and literally create a differential golf group that would be likely very, very entertaining, but offer something different, which again, it is so important. Yes, this guy's huge. Yes, he's the biggest tidal wave in YouTube golf. Yes, obviously, no matter what he starts, it's going to get views. But in order to reach the level of success of a group like Good, the originality has to be there. This guy's got his head on straight. This guy knows YouTube. This guy is starting to talk about bringing together individuals to another YouTube golf group. You better believe I'm getting excited. You better believe YouTube golf is just a rocket ship that all the way up to space. And I'm going to keep covering it for your faces. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you later.